I'll start with Jed first. I guess after a defeat like that, in that sort of fashion last week, how do you go about kind of recentering and refocusing for what's going to be a tough test on Saturday at Eden Park?
We just got to lick our wounds and go again. There's no lack of motivation after the weekend. Obviously, you know, it was a great test match to be a part of. It was awesome being out there, but obviously disappointing ending. But there's no lack of motivation in the squad, and the boys have recovered, and we've had two really, really good, solid training days. So we're pumped to get over to New Zealand and get out there and rip in again.
So coming back, I think it was 31-13 down at some point to give yourself a chance to win at the end there. Is there a sense of sort of momentum you can kind of take into that, to take into Saturday and hopefully kind of harness heading forward?
Yeah, there's a whole lot of, as I said, motivation, and we saw that, what we did was really working, and once we got 15 men on the park, we were getting good pay out of our strikes, our set piece, and the things we wanted to achieve in that test match, and we got to be better to close out that game, and we've taken that learning, and we're ready to go.
So just touching on that, I think it was 3 yellow cards during that match. There's been sort of a couple of issues in the past with discipline. How much importance is kind of discipline being placed on this week, and particularly heading into sort of the future?
Yeah, I mean, if you're giving away, I think we gave away 19 advantages, and I think there was 13 penalties. You're going to put yourself in a hard position, and the refs, forced to make those things like yellow cards. Jake got caught in an uncompromising position at the bottom of them all, and the other two sort of speak for themselves. So, we've got to be better there, and we will be.
Jake. Just tell us, what's the feeling like heading to Eden Park? Is it one of excitement, or what is it?
So, I think it's obviously a great place to play. At Eden Park and against the All Blacks is a great occasion. Like Jed touched on, we're really excited for the week ahead. Obviously pretty disappointed with the way things ended last week in Melbourne, but we've had a really good training week, and we're excited for what will be a great test match.
Obviously, you look at, from England, the first test, some of the leaders that were a part of that team, and now it's a pretty different team to what it was 3 months ago, but you're very much a leader within that team, captain of the Tars. What's some of the messaging that's taking place from those kind of guys and figures within the team in what is, the Bledisloe might be gone, but it's a huge test still?
Yeah, I think luckily enough, we've got a really strong leadership group here. We've got guys like Jed with a lot of experience, Slips, Al, Kel, who spent some time overseas and learned a lot. So we have a luxury there that we have guys, even like Tate, Whitey and myself, have all captained their local teams. So I wouldn't say we're short in experience. We've got the best players in the country in this team. So for majority, a lot of guys with a lot of experience. So the message has been pretty simple, do a lot of the same, like Jed touched on. Probably discipline's been a massive work on throughout the week. Like we've spoken about before, 3 yellow cards probably isn't the best. And when we have 15 guys on the park, we look really good. So I guess limiting the amount of penalties we give them will definitely help us on the weekend.
And just from your personal perspective, starting at 9, always difficult, and I suppose probably different starting test matches. They're always tighter. It's probably easier to look $1 million coming on and 2 minutes to go when the game's a bit looser, but from your perspective, what are the real differences from starting a test match?
I haven't started a heap of test matches, so my aim for the week coming in was to sort of get my core job right. It's my kick and pass, which is really my main focus. We got quite a bit of pay through kicking, and I think in parts of the game we looked pretty quick with the ball, especially in the last 20. I thought Whitey did a really good job of picking up the tempo. I think probably, especially at this level, you've got such quality across the park, you've really got to focus on yourself and getting your core job right, and the rest kind of takes care of itself.
Does it feel easier or harder to start a test?
probably start. Can get a little bit nerve-wracking coming on with sort of 15, 20, 10 to go, and the game's in the balance, and yeah, I think starting you sort of work your way into the game a little bit more.
Hey Jake, I'm curious as to how much you trained with Bernard, sort of outside you in training leading up into that test, and how you think that combination went.
Yeah, I love playing with Nardi. We obviously played 16, 17, 18 together at the TARS, so pretty familiar with each other, and we trained during that break leading into the All Black series, so we're pretty comfy with each other. There's not too much teething going on there. It's a familiar voice.
Has Noah been training and up and about at training after his concussion a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, he's back up in training now. Yeah.
And you guys will have Raynal again, the ref as an assistant referee. How does the group feel about that?
Look, we're obviously really disappointed with how the game finished. But we really need to control what we can there. It doesn't really matter that he's going to be a touchy. We need to focus on our game, and if we play well for the 80 minutes, I'm sure we'll get a good result.
Obviously, sorry, Tom, you keep going.
I was going to say lastly, Jay, is it important for the group to get over what happened, or is there a value in trying to channel that frustration into a bigger...
I definitely think we need to channel that frustration. It's pretty clear that we're all bitterly disappointed by how that result finished. But yeah, we've got to channel it in the right way. It's important.
Jake, obviously there's three of you in that position, only two get picked. How do you kind of guys work together? Are you rivals, or do you have a team kind of attitude to it, or how do you approach it as a group of three into two?
It's pretty simple. They're both pretty good blokes, to be fair. So, we train pretty hard when we're on the field together, but we have a laugh off the field. I've got a great relationship with both of them. So, as competitive as they are, we get over that, and we have a good laugh together. So it's all good.
So what's it been like this season on those occasions when you drop out of the side? How do you kind of deal with that mindset-wise to keep yourself going and come back in? And is it frustrating, or is it just kind of part of what you do?
There's definitely an element of frustration. Definitely in halfbacks, we're all competitive and we all want to play. So, yeah, I'd be lying sitting here saying it's all good. I know Tatey and Whitey and myself all want to start every game. So, the start of the week, there's probably an element of frustration within myself when I'm not getting picked, and you've got to get over it and put the team first after that.
And do you find you've developed any areas of your game in particular over the last 12 months or so?
I think core job at halfback, kick and pass can always improve, so they're probably two things I'm always looking to find an edge with.
And just one more for me. What's it like, previously you might have got to New Zealand a bit earlier as with several other tests this campaign. Do you think it's an advantage or disadvantage or no difference at all to be going in quite late, especially with all the hype around playing at Eden Park?
I think we're pretty familiar with New Zealand. We play there quite a lot, especially in Trans-Tasman. We play a number of tests there a year. So, heading over there is pretty familiar. We know what we're getting ourselves into. We'll be ready to go.
Thank you.
Jed, just can I ask how it feels for you to be suiting up in a Wallabies jersey, Eden Park? It doesn't get much bigger, eh?
Me?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, mate. It's obviously, Eden Park's well documented, and just being a part of that test match last week, my first one, and I was full of nerves, so it was good to get that out of the way, and I can't wait to go over there and to be a part of it and hopefully have a huge impact on the game as well. And I know collectively as a team we can't wait, and we're chewing at the bit to get over there and perform on the weekend.
What do you think last week's test says about the state of the rivalry? Because Australia hasn't been, if I can put it crudely, up there making World Cup final last time round. We're not in that bracket of elite teams expected to win the World Cup. But the combat between the Trans-Tasman rivals feels as fierce as ever.
Yeah, I think the rivalry is very healthy. They've been so dominant over the last 20 years. Right there, and the game was for the taking on the weekend. but it doesn't mean anything if we don't back it up this week and take it right to them again. And we've struggled to back it up previously, so it's a huge challenge for this team and for us to go get a result this weekend. And as I said, we're chewing at the bit. We've had a great week of prep, and hopefully get over there and back it up.
Australia can't win the Bledisloe, obviously, and it would take a miracle for us to win the Rugby Championship. Is there motivation in denying New Zealand the Rugby Championship?
Oh, there's a huge amount of motivation, just this weekend with Eden Park, obviously the record that they have there. So there's motivation over that, motivation over the result on the past weekend. And obviously, it's not sort of taking away. We want to win every test match that we're a part of. So it's just going out there and performing and performing to, the ability that we know we can. As I said, there is a lot of motivation involved with this game. It's not necessarily based around stopping New Zealand from winning the Rugby Championship, but it's just about us performing and doing our best.
Thank you.
Jed, just a quick one. Has there been more of an edge this week at training off the back of last Thursday? And secondly, from your perspective, how does the Wallabies get off to quicker starts?
Mate, there has been. We've had to, as Jake touched on, we had to really channel the sort of motivation throughout this week because it's definitely there. Boys can't wait to rip in, and we were hurting, but we've used that as motivation, and we had to channel that and make sure that the edge that we bring comes out on Saturday as opposed to Tuesday or Thursday at training. So. We've done a good job of that this week, and we're really excited. But in terms of starting better, looking back at that test match, I dropped 2 kickoffs. I got to be better there, and we put ourselves under the pump. They kicked the corner, maul on us a couple of times. We give away a few advantages. So, there's things like that we need to look at and be better at, because what I'm starting to learn at Test Rugby, you can't afford to give a team an inch, because you're going to end up 7-10 points down quite quickly, and that's kind of been the story of our test matches all this year. We're allowing teams to get a quick start, so nullifying that quick start and just being better individually.
Anything else for Jake or Jed, guys?
I was just going to ask Jed, are you preparing with Rob Leota out big back row cover, or sort of possibly stay in that second row?
Yeah, the beauty of what I can bring is I can cover 4, 5, 6, and potentially 8. So I got to be over my detail. I'm absolutely gutted for Rob. He was having a really good impact on that test match, and he's had a bit of a rough trot with injuries this year, and I'm absolutely gutted for him. So I know he'll come back bigger and stronger, and he'll go through the whole injury process now. But we're all thinking of Robbie.